Some really good news today. I'm just going to cover this briefly here. We are going to look at, this is the most recent video from RFK Jr.'s YouTube channel. This is great. It's about a minute, 13 seconds.
You're calling for a debate with President Trump. You have an open letter to him. I'll let you explain it.
We're both speaking at the Libertarian Convention in Washington, D.C. on May 24th and 25th. I've invited President Trump to debate. He's repeatedly said that he is willing to debate anytime, any place. He said that he specifically would debate me as long as my poll numbers are up.
You sure you want to debate Donald Trump? I mean, there are stages littered with political careers everywhere in the aftermath of people wanting to debate Donald Trump. The guy's a master debater without a question. You up for that? You ready for that?
I don't underestimate President Trump, but I think I'm uniquely able to confront him on issues that nobody has confronted him on. He has now been 4 years in the presidency. And I want to talk to him about his record. I want to talk to him about why he locked down 3.3 million businesses, shifted $4 trillion in wealth from the American workers and the middle class to this new oligarchy
I would love to see
billionaires.
Now, I would love to see this debate.
Yeah. This is Hulk Hogan versus Ric Flair. That's what all of this is here. This is Hulk Hogan versus Ric Flair. This is what we want to see. Now, we want to see it at WrestleMania, and we never got it. So I get it. I get where we are, what can happen, what can't happen here. I got the Kennedy 24 shirt on here. Make America Great Again. I got my Trump, another Trump hat here. I got a Kennedy beanie coming. This is great for this country. I just cannot repeat that enough here. I'm so happy. And I want to see what President Trump's response is. I know he's got a lot of other things going on. And this is just like the worlds are colliding. Everything is matching up here. There was a time way back in the day where we did have the NWA World Heavyweight Champion versus the WWF World Heavyweight Champion. And that was a fantastic fight. And I do believe, I want to say it was Harley Race as the NWA champion and Bob Backlund as the WWF champion. I could be wrong on that, but I believe that's what it was. And it was just where the stars aligned here. Now, I would rather see President Trump and RFK Jr. debate at Madison Square Garden. But at the Libertarian Convention, at the Libertarian National Convention on May 24th or May 25th, or whenever they want to do it during that weekend, this would be great. This would also show that the presidential debates do not have to be moderated by these biased presidential debate people who do not want to have the first presidential debate until September 16th, right? Even though early voting starts on September 6th. I want to cover that too, if I do have time. I want to cover that and show how they're already trying to rig it so that early ballot voting happens before the first presidential debate. The first presidential debate by this nonpartisan debate group or whatever has been, we're doing this forever. Again, getting rid of the old school. Their first presidential debate is scheduled for September 16th, 2024. But early voting in at least 2 states already starts then. It already starts before that date. And if I have my notes, just bring that up here. Just because this is a very important thing. Go here to any challenges. I don't know if I put this. I don't know if I have attached this anywhere yet. But this is. Yeah, I do need to go back and look at that. But that is going to be a very, very big deal. Actually, it may be in my other book. Just 1 second here, because I think I know. This was the last thing I put in these books. I got 3 of these here that are done. Handwritten notes. Everything going into the book. And I'm sure that what I want to put in, is there? Yes, debates.org. So, and you know what? I can even go, since I do have Trump's website pulled up here. Let me just go there. This will make a little more sense about these debates, because we all want, I believe, we all want to see the debates happen. Now, who do we want to see in these debates and why? So if you go to donaldjtrump.com/news, scroll down, and you will see that there is this from May 4th, the readout, not the readout, no, sorry. You will see, where is it? I believe, oh, maybe that is it. Where's the readout? What date is this? This is 5/5, it says. Did they remove it? No, it can't be. I hope they didn't remove that. Oh, here we go. May 1st. Trump campaign here. This is the response from about this debate. I'm just going to read this because this is going to make a lot more sense than me just rambling on here. Okay. The Commission on Presidential Debates admits in their own statement that their proposed debate schedule begins after early voting. Again, this is unacceptable. The American people deserve to hear from the candidates before millions of ballots are mailed and cast. We must host debates earlier than ever before. So the Libertarian National Convention seems like a great time to me, right? They go on. Again, we call on every television network in America that wishes to host a debate to extend an invitation to our campaign, and we will gladly negotiate with the Biden campaign with or without the stubborn Presidential Debates Commission. Notice how they do not mention RFK Jr. Notice how they do not mention RFK Jr. It's all about the debates between Biden. They really need to start focusing on RFK Jr. If they want to have real debates, RFK Jr. is there. He will be at the same place, same bat time, same bat channel where President Trump is. This is the perfect opportunity. This is the perfect storm to see the perfect debate and to set a new standard for debates in this country. This can happen. This will happen, hopefully. And this is where finally, we need to hear from President Trump to get his answer, his response to this, because he will be there. He needs to accept this debate challenge. He doesn't need to. I hope that he does. I really hope that he does, because this is what's best for business. This is what's best for the country. This is what's best for America. A debate like this will help make America great again. And we need this. We need this. And I don't believe that President Trump is scared to debate RFK Jr. I actually believe he understands this is the real debate that the people want. So it's up to President Trump. Is he going to give us the debate that we want? Or is he going to withhold that? Because he can go after Biden and say, hey, Biden, I'll debate you anytime, any place, anywhere. What about RFK Jr.? And I don't believe that RFK Jr. is not in the spot where President Trump thinks that RFK Jr. has not earned that. He's more than earned that. He's on 12 states now. We're going to talk about that. He's on Ohio now too. And he will be moving up. And as we get closer, Kennedy will be on the ballot in all of these states. How long before President Trump says, okay, let's do this? If he can do this at the Libertarian National Convention, that's awesome. If President Trump backs down, that is not going to look good in his favor. So I understand President Trump's focus is on Biden, but he really needs to also think about RFK Jr. It's not a bad thing. It is a good thing. This can help him. Just like all these criminal cases, all these court cases are helping President Trump. A debate with RFK Jr., this can help President Trump here. That's what I believe. We'll see what the truth is. We'll see what the answer is. But just reading a little bit more from this. So I'm going to go to the commission, to their statement here, and hopefully it redirects and shows this for what I'm pulling up here. This is the CPD, the nonprofit Commission on Presidential Debates. This is what they are saying. This is what they are talking about here, right? This is from May 1st, May Day. So the first debate scheduled for September 16th will be the earliest televised general election debate ever held. So I'm paraphrasing here, kind of reading from what I have from my book, or what I'm going to end up putting in this book here. So I'm just going to read this one, keep this up on the screen for y'all. Now, how did they choose this date? There are many considerations, but one factor was, quote, early voting. Another was the dates on which individual states closed their ballots. The CPD explained why they purposely chose September 16th after a comprehensive study of early voting rules in every state. On September 6, 2024, North Carolina county boards of election will begin to mail absentee ballots to citizens who have requested them. This prompted the Trump campaign to release their own statement the same day, which we just read. The Commission on Presidential Debates admits in their own statement that their proposed debate schedule begins after early voting. Again, this is unacceptable. The American people deserve to hear from the candidates before millions of ballots are mailed and cast. Now, the CPD statement clarifies that September 6th is the day that absentee ballots will be mailed out. In-person early voting in North Carolina does not begin until October 17th. So a little bit of clarification there, I would say. But for Pennsylvania voters, they will begin to receive their early voting ballots on September 16th, which is the same day as the scheduled presidential debate. On that day, according to the CPD statement, Pennsylvania voters can receive, complete, and return ballots at their county board of elections. Every other state starts with voting later, as of the most recently published information. The Trump campaign was not happy with this decision, obviously, and I've read exactly what they have stated after that. So again, the early voting. So they want the CPD, right? Is that what it is? Let me just go back there. The CPD, the nonpartisan, nonprofit Commission on Presidential Debates, who has probably been doing this for a long, long time. So there we go. They are pretty much, so yeah. Hey Rick, how are you, my friend? So what the CPD is basically saying is they are going to allow people to vote before the first presidential election debate happens. And the Trump campaign obviously is crying foul, saying shenanigans, shenanigans, shenanigans. Now, at the same time, we have Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Kennedy 2024, who is saying he wants to debate President Trump at the Libertarian National Convention coming up here in a couple weeks. And Rick, I know you're not a politic, you're not into politics or anything like that, but from my guess, and I could be wrong, you would more closely align with the Libertarians. I could be wrong about that, but that's kind of my view based on our past conversations. Again, could be wrong about that, but so you have a neutral ground here where RFK Jr. is challenging Donald Trump to a debate. Now, both of them are already going to be there on this day. So they're already scheduled to speak either on the same day or one day after. The Libertarian Party has said we would love to host a debate between RFK Jr. and Donald Trump. The only thing stopping us right now is Donald Trump. All Donald Trump has to do is say, yes, let's do it. He's already scheduled to speak. He's already going to be there. All he has to do is say, yeah, screw it. Let's do it. Because if Donald Trump is going to go out there and challenge Biden anytime, any place, anywhere, why not challenge Kennedy anytime, any place, anywhere? And it's not even like he has to challenge him. He can't say, oh, my schedule, this doesn't work for my schedule. He's already going to be there. This is a very strategic move by Robert F. Kennedy Jr., a very smart move, and it backs President Trump into a corner, but a good corner, where this is where we want to see this debate. America wants this. The world wants this. This would be a ratings killer. So where the Trump campaign says, they want, again, we call on every television network in America that wishes to host a debate to extend an invitation to our campaign. So again, it's like Trump is ready to debate Biden, but is he ready to debate Kennedy? That's what this really comes down to. Trump is saying anytime, any place, anywhere for Joe Biden, but not so much for Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And the reasoning is just because Kennedy his poll numbers aren't that great, even though I have clips from last summer where he's saying Kennedy's poll numbers are good, where he's saying, even if Kennedy wins, they will never let him win, et cetera, et cetera. President Trump has a big history with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. This debate could happen at the Libertarian National Convention just coming up in 2 weeks here. This would be epic. This would be great. This would help the Libertarian Party. Obviously, they're going to announce their own candidate to run, or maybe hopefully they will endorse one of these two candidates. That's what I'd like to see. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't believe the Libertarian Party is that much different than the two-party system. The Libertarian Party may be just another third party, another wing of the same bird. It may be the ass of the same bird here. But what real libertarians stand for, they like Trump. They like Kennedy. That's why they have invited both of them to speak here. It seems like they agree with a lot of these things that both of these candidates are saying, or they would not allow both of these candidates to show up at the same time in the same place. So the debate could happen. All that we need is for President Trump to say, yes, let's do it. RFK Jr. has already set it out there and said, let's do this. And that first clip that I just played, it's like, they even question, are you sure you really want to do this here? Are you sure you really want to do this? Kennedy wants to do this. The question is Trump game? Because if Trump is not game, if he brushes it off and say, well, it's not, Kennedy's not on my level or this or that, that's not going to be a good look for President Trump. It's not, I'm going to vote for President Trump, but it's not going to it's not going to look good. It's not going to be something that I'm going to be proud of. It's not going to be the President Trump that I believe is going to make America great again. So I do hope that Trump will accept RFK Jr.'s challenge to debate him, right? And again, this goes back. This is Hulk Hogan challenging Ric Flair. This is WWF challenging the NWA. And this is the dream match that we all want to see. I don't believe anybody wants, I didn't want to see this in 2020. I didn't want to see Biden debate President Trump in 2020. I thought President Trump just destroyed Biden. The media might tell you something different. Biden supporters might tell you something different too, but I watched it all. I thought Trump won handily. But the dream match that I want to see is President Trump on a debate stage with RFK Jr. This could happen in just a couple weeks. And we will have an answer because we will see, will President Trump accept that, or will he walk away from it? Will he ignore it? The ball is in President Trump's court. Now, I have not looked at Truth Social to see. I have been checking ever since Kennedy had made this announcement. I have been checking Truth Social to see if President Trump will respond to this. And the main thing is that President Trump is responding to things that could put him in jail. He could be held in contempt for some of the stuff that he is posting on social media, on Truth Social. So for him, it's not a big deal for him to post about the court cases, the criminal cases, and all of that stuff. But where is Trump posting about this challenge? And it's just a political game. This is a switch that we are seeing in President Trump, where for months, President Trump has talked nicely, kindly about RFK Jr. I like him. He's a nice guy, blah, blah, blah. And then the other day, Trump says he doesn't know who RFK Jr. is. Of course he knows who RFK Jr. is. And that is a mess. That's Trump playing this game. If you've ever read Trump's book, The Art of the Deal, you will understand what Trump is doing right now. If you have not read Trump's book, The Art of the Deal, please read that. Get the actual audio book. It is worth a listen. It is worth a read. This is a great book. I understand why this book, The Art of the Deal by Donald J. Trump, has done so well. But if you read that book, you will understand exactly what President Trump is doing right now, playing this game. He's not going to give people the unwanted attention. He wants to keep the attention on him. So even when he is asked about these, and it's crazy because that was the first question after the courthouse that somebody asked him, "Will you debate RFK Jr.?" He's like, "I don't know RFK Jr. I don't know RFK Jr." Of course, he knows him. We all know that he knows him. So Trump knows exactly what he's doing. But if you read the book, The Art of the Deal, you'll probably understand this is taking that to the next level, what Trump is doing, why he is saying what he is saying. It doesn't mean that he's a liar. He forgot everything. He's on the same page as Joe Biden. He's forgetting everything. No, Trump knows exactly what he is doing here by saying this. But the continual question is, will he debate RFK Jr.? Because I'll tell you, that will make America great again. Win, lose, or draw, this will be great. This is what the country wants. This is what the country needs. And this will take the focus off of Joe Biden. Anyone who may be thinking, maybe I'm going to vote for Joe Biden because these two guys, I don't want to vote for Kennedy or for Trump. Those people may actually view some of these things or some of these clips, depending on how social media regulates that and censors all of that stuff. But this could be great for our country. And this will set the standard for the debates in this presidential election so that these people, the CPD and the people who want to host their own debates between the presidential candidates will get a good view of how you do it. The Libertarian Party can do it right. I truly believe that. I don't agree with a lot of things the Libertarian Party does or has done or will do, or who they will nominate or anything. But I believe that they will do this right. They may even invite Tucker Carlson or somebody on that level to actually moderate this thing. But this would be a lot better than what we saw with the Republicans. What we saw in 2020 and 2016, these moderators are not really good. There's never been any moderator that I've really felt really good about. Put it on neutral ground, change the game, change the rules, change the stadium, change the venue, and put it in a place that has never been done before. Something like this has never been done before. We have never seen a debate for two high-profile, popular candidates on a libertarian platform. This would be awesome. Wouldn't this be great? I mean, yeah, I'm with you, Mendo. I'm with you, brother. I'd love to watch it too. And I look forward to it. And I also look forward to seeing how Trump reacts to it, because by their actions, we will know them. And we will see where does Trump stand? Because like I said, he's already going to be there. There's no excuse for him to not do this. So I'm hoping that this is really going to happen. And I believe this could be a very positive thing for our country. We'll see what happens in the end. We only got a couple weeks till the Libertarian National Convention. I don't believe the Libertarian Party has actually nominated a candidate yet. I could be wrong, and that could be what this is. That could be where this makes sense. There's a Libertarian Convention, so this is where they're going to nominate whoever they want to run as their party candidate. But the real story would be Trump and Kennedy on a debate stage. I think that would be great. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, any way that we can get to that end, I think, is really good. But again, going back and looking at Truth Social here, I'm not seeing Trump talk about that, go for that, talk about everything else. He's got something about Don King, right? He's got that. He's got some other videos and talking about our freedom of speech, et cetera, et cetera. This is actually pretty funny. I don't know if anyone has seen this, but he said, I spotted ratings challenge Lawrence O'Donnell of MSDNC in the courthouse today. I haven't seen him in years. He looks like shit, a real loser. When I woke up to that this morning, that was a great way to wake up this morning. Woke up this morning. Yeah, it was awesome. So that was just from President Trump's True Social, and I just thought that was hilarious. So hopefully that will happen. We don't know. We will see what goes on. Only gonna spend a few more minutes here because there's a few other things that I did want to cover here, but one of the other things that I did want to talk about, not that one. There is obviously the censorship with Kennedy is pretty much out of control. So with that in mind, before I head off here, got some great news here that I will share at the very end, which is really cool. But I did want to go ahead and play a little bit more. Maybe I'll play. I want to replay this again and see if Kennedy is anywhere else because it's so good. It's so good. Play it.
You're calling for a debate with President Trump. You have an open letter to him. I'll let you explain it.
We're both speaking at the Libertarian Convention in Washington, D.C. on May 24th and 25th. I've invited President Trump to debate. He's repeatedly said that he is willing to debate anytime, any place. He said that he specifically would debate me as long as my poll numbers are up.
You sure you want to debate Donald Trump? I mean, there are stages littered with political careers everywhere in the aftermath of people wanting to debate Donald Trump. The guy's a master debater without a question. You up for that? You ready for that?
I don't underestimate President Trump, but I think I'm uniquely able to confront him on issues that nobody has confronted him on. He has now been 4 years in the presidency. And I want to talk to him about his record. I want to talk to him about why he locked down 3.3 million businesses, shifted $4 trillion in wealth from the American workers and the middle class to this new oligarchy
I would love to see
billionaires.
Now, I would love to see this debate.
Hey everybody, my name is Jonathan Hiller and I'm the Director of Content at Team Kennedy. And today we're talking about censorship.
Use my words,
it's the witness's time. Do not censor the witness.
I'm not censoring the witness.
Okay, so last weekend, a 30-minute video called Who is Bobby Kennedy, which was narrated by Woody Harrelson, started trending on social media. And when we saw the video trending on X, we thought, oh, this is really great content. We should repost it. But then we started getting messages from supporters saying that they couldn't post the content to Facebook or Instagram. And the platforms weren't allowing the URL, which contains the video, to be posted on their platforms either. I mean, this is a video about Bobby's life, which includes interviews from former collaborators and a lot of Bobby himself. But it certainly didn't include anything violent. So we set up an email called censorship@teamkennedy.com and asked our supporters to send us examples of what happened when they tried to post the link to the video. Then the New York Times picked up the story and they asked Meta, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram, for a statement. They said it was mistakenly blocked and it was corrected within a few hours. So the question remains, was this a mistake? Or was it a violation of the First Amendment and potential election interference? All right, so first of all, the timing doesn't really add up. And also, it just seems a little strange that the mistake would morph into different kinds of violations. Your content goes against our community standards on spam. There is a problem with this link. There was an error saving your changes. Upload failed. Delete. And then my personal favorite, our technology showed that this post looks like others that go against our community standards for violent and graphic content. Or perhaps history could inform our inquiry. I mean, surely a social media company has never censored speech to put their thumb on the political scale, right?
This morning, a federal judge in Louisiana is limiting the Biden administration from contacting social media companies. The judge saying the administration likely violated the First Amendment when it pressured those companies to remove certain posts.
So you can find the full report on the Judiciary Committee's website, which details the degree to which the White House coordinated with Meta, Google, and even Amazon to suppress any speech that went against the agreed upon COVID narrative. Like, did COVID actually leak from a lab?
Yeah, exactly.
And we all know how that worked out.
Right.
The FBI has for quite some time now assessed that the origins of the pandemic are most likely a potential lab incident in Wuhan.
We have to have a free and fair, transparent election in 2024. And the First Amendment guarantees a free exchange of ideas. And if social media companies censor political speech they don't like, where does that leave us in informing ourselves to choose the next leader of the free world? Every major corporation and administration should uphold the First Amendment, and not just because it's a matter of law and it's in the Constitution, but because it's about protecting freedom itself.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Rick, it is interesting that you actually mentioned that. Did David Crowley ever give his thoughts on politics, etc.? Because yes, he was a libertarian. That is where he closely aligned with. And we heard that, I believe it was in the speech that he gave at the Ron Paul Revolution speech, where he pretty much said he's a libertarian, which is pretty awesome. Again, here we go again. And this is another reason why this is a neutral ground where President Trump and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. can hash out these things. And I actually think they may actually end up agreeing more. This may be a really polite debate, something very different than what we saw in 2020 for two reasons. Remember, I believe the first speech, the first debate right after the first debate in 2020, I believe that's when President Trump then got COVID, right? And so they're saying, well, he was kind of he was this, he was that. And it's like, well, if you've ever seen a President Trump speech, or if you've been to a President Trump rally, what you saw on the debate stage with Joe Biden was the exact same thing. It wasn't anything new. But for people who have never seen that, who have never gone into that, it was like, whoa, what's wrong with this guy? Oh, he's got COVID. Oh, okay. So they were supposed to have 3 debates in 2020. They canceled the second one. They have the third one. So I could be getting my things wrong of which debate Trump had COVID, but I do believe they canceled the second one because he had COVID. Could be wrong on that, but I do believe that's what happened. But as far as David Crowley, it seemed like he has aligned himself more with the Libertarian Party, which at that time, a lot of us in the Truth Movement, Mendo Brendo may be able to speak on that too. You know, it's kind of like more, we weren't Democrats, we weren't Republicans, we didn't really know where we politically stood, so we just didn't even bother with it, because most of politics, especially back then, I believe was bull crap. And so I would agree with a lot of people who were fed up with the system. I was fed up with the system. I was fed up with the policy. I was fed up with the vote. I was fed up with all of this same thing. I was not one who bought into Barack Obama. I had already kind of understood that Barack Obama is just going to be like that. It doesn't matter that he's black. Him being black had nothing to do with it. Actually, that kind of made it worse, because then it created more racism, because they were trying to say they wanted him in office because he's black. Well, you know what? You should not want somebody to be the president because of their race. Because let me tell you, if you're a Christian like me and you understand what the Bible says, you understand we all came from Adam and Eve. We came from one man and one woman. Race doesn't mean anything. You don't judge them by their race. You don't judge them by their color. You judge them by their actions. Barack Obama was groomed to be the president. He was a senator. He came out of nowhere, and then all of a sudden he is the president. And what did he do? He continued everything that George Bush Jr. did. He continued all of those wars. He continued to do everything. He was not this savior. He was not this person that was supposed to be anti-establishment, anti-government. He was not anti-Bush. When you have George Bush Sr., George Bush Jr., Bill Clinton, and Barack Obama, the four horsemen, these four corrupt politicians, all going after President Trump, you can clearly see where they stand and where he stands. And then you put in RFK Jr. into this mix, and RFK Jr. is more closely aligned with President Trump than any of those four asshats of presidents that we've had. And you could probably go back even further, and you would probably look at these situations. And one day, I believe President Trump will come out and finally share his thoughts on JFK and finally really get into his thoughts on 911. And I want to see that from RFK. We've seen that from RFK Jr. for his uncle, for his dad. RFK Jr. was pressed recently on his views on 911, and he's come out and said there are some questions, specifically Building 7. Those are some major questions that we need to ask. President Trump was also there when he wasn't the president then, obviously, in 2001, but he was talking about bombs too. He was talking about bombs on 911. I mean, these are big, big deals. These two guys can agree on 911. They can agree that these wars are wrong. They understand the Russia-Ukraine war, what that really is. They understand what the war with Israel and Palestine, which it's not a war with Israel and Palestine, it's a war with Israel and terrorists. That's what it really is, using Palestine and the Palestinians as human shields, using them, killing them. They don't give a crap about the real Palestinian people that just want to live in peace. These are terrorists. These Hamas terrorists. This is what it really is. And they use them as human shields. And it's not just them. They have been doing this for a long, long time. And this is why we're starting to look at these major people. Big names are really starting to look at who is funding what is happening on our school campuses and why. It is not the students. When you have over 50% of the people who are doing these protests are not even students at these colleges, why are they allowing this to happen? Who is funding these colleges? Who is funding all of this? Who is George Soros? Where it's not just George Soros is not at the top of the pyramid, but he is a part of this pyramid scheme, definitely. It goes so deep. And this is what draining the swamp is. This is what I really love about President Trump, what I've seen him do in the 4 years. This is what I really love about RFK Jr., what I've seen him do in these last 2 years and the way that they've treated him and the things that he said and how he's come out and the topics that he has talked about. The more that I research him, how far back are the real environmentalists, because there are real environmental issues, and RFK Jr. can tackle the real environmental issues, not these wedge issues here, climate change, this Green New Deal. No, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has been an environmentalist since before any of this stuff has ever been going on, since before Al Gore and his climate change bullcrap, since before this Green New Deal. The real environmentalist is RFK Jr. And I think that's clear. And I could be wrong. Okay, now, only got a few more minutes. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. I do want to just go over this important announcement. This is great. It's one of the greatest things to happen here. Guess what happened with the campaign again? Now, the Kennedy campaign has been saying they're going to get on a ballot in a new state every week. I laughed at that. It's like, there's no way. Well, here we go. Guess what happened today, May 8th? Kennedy collects signatures needed to gain ballot access in Ohio. Number 11, the 11th state here where you will see Kennedy's name on the ballot, history being made. You tell me this guy is not a threat? This is not him just joining one of the parties that are already there and everything. Doing something different in a different way. I'm going to read this here. This is important. I still want to know what with the New York, what is going on in New York. Is he going to, he needs to get his name on the ballot in New York. They're in process. It's in progress. We're going to go look at that map too. But this is a big, big deal. Texas, he's going to be speaking in Texas on Monday. They're probably going to have enough votes by Monday to get him on the ballot in Texas. That's a big, big deal. California was a big, big deal. I mean, these are some big things. Idaho, maybe not so much, but that's okay. He's on the ballot in Idaho too. All of these states here that we see, 11 states, 50 minus 11. That's how many more he has to go. Add Washington, D.C., and add some of these islands too, I would think, because they haven't talked about the islands, but we are going to get there. So let me just read a little bit of this. God bless you all, and thank you all for taking this time. I know it's probably late. Independent presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. announced today the campaign has collected all of the signatures needed to get ballot access in Ohio. Since the launch of petitioning in Ohio, volunteers have eagerly stepped up to support the Kennedy campaign, said Midwest Regional Director Lane Koch. We are delighted to be able to make this announcement more than 1 month ahead of schedule, thanks to our hardworking volunteers. The Kennedy Shanahan campaign ticket is officially on the ballot in 4 states. Now that's official. Utah, Michigan, California, and Delaware. That's official, done. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Here are the other 8. They're still, they have the votes, they have everything. Not the vote. I keep saying the votes. They have the people who have signed up. They're just waiting to make it official. It's official. The campaign has collected enough signatures and ballot access in 8 other states: New Hampshire, Nevada, Hawaii, North Carolina, Idaho, Nebraska, Iowa, and now Ohio. The campaign has now collected all of the signatures required in states totaling 141 electoral votes. That's a big, big deal. 141 electoral votes. You only need 270 to win. So they have enough right now to qualify to get a possible 141 electoral votes. 26% of the 538 total electoral votes nationwide. Boom. Big, big deal. Big numbers here. This is a huge, huge win. Another huge win, I should say. The Kennedy campaign has launched a robust ballot access plan to ensure the Kennedy Shanahan ticket is on the ballot in all 50 states and the District of Columbia. What about the islands? We have the field teams, volunteers, legal teams, paid circulators, supporters, strategists ready to get the job done, said Stephanie Spear, campaign's press secretary. We are exceeding all our ballot access benchmarks, and we will announce new states each week. On May 1st, the Kennedy campaign released results from a Zogby poll showing Kennedy beats both President Biden and Trump in head-to-head matchups. Trump defeats Biden handily. Kennedy beats President Trump in a 2-way race by a tight margin. In a 2-way race between Kennedy and President Biden, Kennedy wins in a landslide. Like the Fleetwood Mac song, a landslide. It brought me down. Kennedy is the first independent ever to defeat both major party candidates in head-to-head matchups. This is awesome. I could not be more happy. I don't know what your thoughts are, but I cannot be more happy with this. This should not be a threat to President Trump. This should be more reasons why President Trump should debate RFK Jr. Now, a debate is going to help RFK Jr. Is it going to help President Trump? I think that's President Trump's question here. Is it going to hurt him if he backs down from it? I think he needs to think about that too. All right, so that is it. Let's go ahead, and here we're going to look at the, like we were saying, the eligible electoral votes, 141. Look at that. Boom. Magical. Let's look at these colors. And what do these colors mean that we are looking at? Well, dark purple means it's good. It's almost locked in, pretty much in lock. The petitioning is complete. These are the ones, the light purple are the ones that are in progress here. He's already got 141 there. He only needs 270 to win here. All right. So the light purple ones are the ones that are in progress, and that includes Texas, Florida, and New York. Those are the big ones I'm going to be looking at. Pennsylvania. Going to be looking at some of the places where the shenanigans happened, obviously. Arizona is going to be another big one. And Georgia is going to be another big one. So we'll see what type of shenanigans go on there. And the window is not open yet in several states. That includes Louisiana, Oklahoma, Tennessee, boo, Rhode Island, DC, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Colorado, and Walla Walla, Washington. But aside from that, it's all good for Kennedy. Couldn't be happier, my friends. God bless you all. Remember, Jesus Christ loves you. Don't forget to think about, if you're in the USA, get out there and vote. Please vote. Just even if you're just going to cast a blank vote, please get out there and vote. Let your voice be heard. It will help so much. Even if you cast a blank vote, I'm telling you, it will help so much. It will make it makes the fraud harder. It makes it that much harder for them, because if they find out that you're not going to vote, they may try to vote in your name, meaning somebody may still cast a vote fraudulently as you. But if you get out there and you vote, even if you vote blank, then at least it's going to make that much harder, and we may be able to catch some of these fake voters, some of these people that are stealing votes by trying to cast votes not only as dead people, but by trying to cast a vote in somebody's name, possibly in your name. All right. So you never know. God bless you all. Remember, Jesus Christ loves you. I love you too. And have a great night. And we will be back very soon.